Hey guys, so we have an exciting guest on the line. His name is Chad. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for Connexus Credit Union. So Connexus has a team in the state. They raise an amazing amount of money for Relay for Life each year for our local Relay for Life of Wausau event, and they are also our top team in the state with ranking number 6 in the nation for last year, or sorry, number 6 for the North region for last year, and in the top 50 teams for the entire nation for Relay for Life last year. So if you can help me in welcoming Chad to the call, he's going to talk about going virtual and what that looks like for their team as Connexus. So Chad, if you're on the line.
I am on the line. So just doing a quick sound check. Are you able to hear me okay, Allie?
Yes, we are.
All right, very good. Well, I want to first start by thanking Lori and Allie and others that put this event together for allowing Connexus the opportunity to have some time with you this evening. Obviously, we're huge champions of the American Cancer Society, the efforts that are put forward, and we very much enjoy the Relay event. And on behalf of our 360 employees at Connexus, I can say that the efforts that we put behind that is one of the most exciting times of the year for us. So we come out first and foremost to strongly endorse what's being planned for August 1st, and again are really pleased to be a part of that. When I was thinking about a few comments today and what might resonate with all of the people that are on the phone tonight, realizing that each of you give of your time and or funding to support ACS, for your own individual reasons or perhaps on behalf of your organization. I was thinking, what would be the right message that perhaps you could share with your other folks within your organization or your family and friends that might help make this year, a bit more special given, the international pandemic with COVID-19 and the crazy times we're living in. So I started, crafting some comments that, we plan to share here internally at Connexus. And, as the executive team looked at the current situation that we're in, we took a hard look at what our position would be for ACS in 2020, especially given what we have to do to react to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our first order of business was we wanted to ensure that, through COVID, that our families, our employees, our member owners were receiving what was necessary from Connexus from a time, money, and resource perspective. But then we quickly started to reassess what our involvement should be within our communities in which we serve. And like many organizations, probably struggling with, how do we support the fight against COVID, and we did address that for a while, but what really came back to us is our desire and our commitment to assist in the battle against cancer. Connexus has been the sole presenting sponsor in Wausau's Relay for Life for over a decade, and it's really become ingrained in terms of who we are. It's been part of our DNA. It defines a lot of the employees that work for Connexus, and it's really become something that helps also define our brand in terms of giving back. And that reassessment brought forward really a grim new reality on what was already a daunting cancer-based landscape. For instance, there's a lot of heartache, as we know, and loss attributed to cancer, even without COVID, complicating things. And now we find ourselves more determined to do what we need to do for the following reasons. One is, we're finding that those individuals that are experiencing cancer-related symptoms or perhaps are predisposed with a greater chance of having cancer are struggling to gain entrance into healthcare institutions to obtain a diagnosis. It was difficult enough before, and now, again, it's further complicated. Two, we're finding that individuals that are diagnosed with cancer are experiencing delays in getting treatment as a result of either overburdened healthcare facilities, or now in many cases, healthcare institutions that are having to furlough employees, as odd as that sounds. We're finding that those individuals diagnosed with cancer are having limited access to the necessary pharmaceuticals and prescription drugs. A little factoid here, the pharmaceutical supply chains in China account for the second largest exporter of drugs and drugs from natural sources to the United States. And of course, all of that is being disrupted by the outbreak. We're finding that individuals dealing with cancer are, of course, more susceptible to COVID based on their compromised immune systems, especially if they're in treatment. And we're finding that individuals that have received treatment, that feel like they're in the clear, and hopefully many are now struggling to continue either their therapy or seek follow-up appointments, which, as you can imagine, if you know a cancer survivor, can be a very anxious time, always wondering if you're going to be revisited by the dreaded disease. So, we put those points of perspective out there, and that's when we realized, from a organization perspective, if there was ever a time for us to trench in and dig deeper, this is the time to do it. So right now we have over 320 employees working remotely for Connexus. None of them have a clear timeline of when they're going to be able to return to the office. Yet it's amazing the outpouring that we get from our employees when they consistently ask us about what our plans are to meet the ACS goal that we established for this year. And we established a hefty goal of $100,000 for our Relay for Life. So, we've been kind of waiting to see what ACS would be able to do to flex in this space. And I got to tell you, when we found out that they were moving forward with a 13-week event and we were going to go virtual on August 1st, it reinvigorated a lot of our employees. It gave them something to focus on. So we are having to adjust things that we normally do internally to help raise money. But I can tell you personally, I've been involved as a result of the COVID outbreak. I've been involved in several virtual conferences and virtual meetings, and I can personally say that they do work. Do they work as well as the traditional setup? I think it's too early to tell on that. But what we've found with Connexus and the position that the ACS has taken in this case is, we're not backing down. Like Lori said when she opened up, cancer does not wait. And I think that slogan has really resonated and caused a lot of enthusiasm for doing whatever we can organizationally and whatever we need to do from a time and resource perspective to help support the 13 weeks in the August 1st event. We definitely thank the ACS for involving us. From a participation perspective and what we plan to do internally, we still are hopeful that we'll have some time left at the end of the year to continue our fundraising efforts. But we are currently crafting a plan to start reaching out and having our own fund, similar to some of the topics that have been brought up on how we can engage our employees virtually, and ask them to continue to come forward in giving of their time and their funds. So with that, I want to thank, again, the ACS for allowing us an opportunity to chat with you today. And Allie, I'll turn that back over to you.